Hi everybody, Lauren here from Otsy'sPouch.ca, coming to you from northern Canada. I just wanted to do a quick video on how you can darken your veg tan leather without using a dye. I'll be using birch tar oil. It's a great way to darken your leather. Gives it a great dark antique, almost used patina type finish. It's really nice. You get the added benefits of adding excellent water repel abilities to the leather. It's highly resistant to fungus, molds. It repels bugs, insects, worms, rodents. Uh, it was used back in the day for Russia leather in the Korean process, and one of the main reasons why Russia leather was world renowned. Well, the reason why I had so many of those characteristics that made it so famous, mainly being the ability to resist mold, fungus, uh, saltwater damage, repel water over long periods of times. It's strong antiseptic, antiviral, antibacterial. I've sent samples off to UNBC in British Columbia. They're putting it to work against coming up with something for COVID-19, and also um, putting it to work against, I think here, the antibiotic resistant bacteria. So it's got a ton of really great characteristics. Anyways, let's get on with it. I can ramble on all day about this stuff. So here's a piece of veg tan. It's from Tandy's. It's just a piece of belly, I think, that I ordered for doing some testing. Lighting's not great in here, so the coloring is a little bit off, but hopefully it works out all right. Birch tar oil, pretty hard to see. There's just a tiny bit in here. Uh, this is what I distill this stuff myself from white birch bark mainly. When you first distill it, if you've done it right, it's about the same consistency as water, just a little bit thicker. I distill this down, refine for wooden leather. I refine it down further to get rid of some of the stuff that's not really great for the leather, such as the wood alcohols. So it's a little bit thicker. It imbues a really unique smoky type smell on the leather. It's one of the things that's from the phenols and cresol that repels the bugs, insects, rodents, etc. It smells good to me. A lot of people like it, but the bugs, they don't like it so much. So I'll warm up the leather. As said, I'm in North Canada, so even this time of year, it's not exactly warm. As you can see, it does look like tar, birch tar oil. Pretty black. You can really control just the color that you want, how dark you want it, just by how thick of a layer you put on, how long you let it sit, how warm the leather is when you put it on. Uh, Even just quickly, as I'm doing right now, it'll be pretty dark. It soaks in very fast. It's birch tar oil has been used for many years as well in Europe, Russia, etc. as treatment for psoriasis, all types of skin conditions. It soaks in very well to skin. Uh, so on leather, obviously, it's kind of like coconut oil too. It's very skin friendly. It soaks in very well. So it gets dark quick. Lighting in my shop is really not that good, so I'm not sure how this is going to come through, but as I said, you can get really close to completely blacked out if you want to. Also, when you first put it on, it's like, oh, holy smokes, it's black, but it lightens up as it sits a bit. This does not soften the leather at all, so it's good for boots, tack, knife sheaths, you name it. It's and the migration of the oil, it really doesn't migrate even in the warm weather, so you don't need to worry about it soaking through onto something like your sock. And anyways, back. Kid paid a visit, so I had to put on pause. So yeah, anyways, it looks really dark. It does lighten up a little bit as it sits, and it's pretty hard with the lighting in the shop right now. Yeah, you can see it's pretty dark, but not as dark as it looks on the camera. It's nighttime here, and the lighting's not so good, so I'll maybe try and take a picture of it or something. Anyways, when I do this, I try to finish it off, usually with kind of like a top coat. So that's what I'll do now. I have a mix here already made up. This is birch tar oil, coconut oil, and beeswax. And it just adds to the water repel abilities. The coconut oil helps condition a little bit more. It soaks in very quick to the leather. It just kind of gives a nice top coat to it and help protect it. But I got to warm it up a little bit. All right. Said it's a good top coat. The coconut oil, it also helps condition the leather. It's very good for this, and it does not go rancid. It doesn't really oxidize, kind of like the birch tar oil. And that beeswax, I'm not using any solvents, so that beeswax will catch on the top layer of the leather and make a protective coat. It's not gonna soak in, or pretty hard to get beeswax to soak in. It likes to stick to that top layer of the leather, even if you're using a solvent. But no solvent here. I rub it in really good, and like I said, that beeswax sticks to that top layer, so you let it cool down, and if you want to give it a buff and put some shine on it, it'll take a shine. None of these, the birch tar oil and the coconut oil, the beeswax, none of these things go rancid. They have a very low oxidative value. They don't oxidize much. Unlike, a lot of people talk about using animal fats. Like a big one is neat's foot oil. This is a hard one to convince people because their grandpa used it, their grandpa used it, the military used it with castor oil, etc. But the fact is, these animal oils, they do go rancid after time, and they do oxidize fairly heavily, especially on anything that has stitching in it, and it encourages growth of mold and mildew, and it's not always very obvious. You might see a little bit of white and a little bit of hardening, and you think, okay, it's just time to put more, but in fact that's doing damage, and it's mildew or mold or fungus. So I might get some hate for that, saying that with neat's foot oil. Mink oil is the same thing. It is better than neat's foot oil. I've done quite extensive testing, which I'll be releasing fairly soon on these things, but mink's oil as well. It does the same thing. Mink's oil is different from the neat's foot as in that it has a bunch of antioxidants, which helps stabilize the oxidative value. But still, it's not as good as some of the plant-based. And I know I'm gonna get some hate for that one, but just the way it is. Anyways, you can see here, I'm trying to get the light to hit it just right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take some pictures of it in a little better light. But it's dark. Like I said, kind of an antique used patina type thing, and you can see it's got a little bit of shine on it. I didn't buff it. Very good for the water repel. You can leave standing water on this, and it doesn't really soak through. It beads up. See, it just runs right off. You know, just beads up, runs off. The same thing, I can leave water on there. You can see that water just on there. Try and rub it to break the the surface tension. Sometimes that'll get it to soak in the leather a little bit. But yeah, it just beads up. Anyways, excellent stuff. And definitely has more benefits than just putting a simple dye on your leather. Of course, it's not as consistent or uniform, but if you're looking, anybody that's looking for kind of a traditional or patina type darkening of the leather, this is the way to go. It does imbue a smoky. It's from the phenyl cresol in it that lasts quite a while. Can last up to a year, even longer sometimes, depending on how much you put in. So it does fade after the first few weeks, and it's not quite as strong. But when you first put it on, the smoky smell is quite intense. It's pretty strong. So just something you need to check for when you first put it on. Anyways, hope you found it interesting. Sorry for the crappy lighting, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks for watching.